misty this morning. Woke up, saw beautiful sunlight on the cliffs behind camp here, and by the time I finished getting dressed, the lake had disappeared. So, nice morning. This may be pretty when it burns off, but today is hump day in more ways than one. So today is Wednesday, day of the week, and it's also the day that I hump everything down the hill. Got 3 portages today, all of them a little bit gnarly in their own way. But fortunately most of the day is downhill. So we're going to be dropping quite a bit of elevation. I think I lose about 300 feet today. So, better get started. Everything down by the boat there. It's getting ready to load up, and in like 5 minutes I'll be portaging. Today we're going down the hill, so leaving the high country lakes behind with some regret, but it was a fine high country trip. Finding that new canyon there yesterday was the icing on the cake. So looks like there's lots of water in this next little bog part. So I'm going to try, I'm just going to do a lift over here. We'll try paddling in as far as we can. See where we get. That seemed to go reasonably well. Had to unload part of the boat and got it over. Just got to drop those packs in, and I'm going to skirt my way down along this side as far as I can get. Who knows? Okay, so we're in the bog. This is much better than the last time I came through here, because I wasn't even able to get the canoe in here. And I had to slush all the way along the edge there in the bush. That was a nasty proposition. Not that this one is unnasty, but at least floating the loads this far is way better than humping them on my back. Unfortunately, I've got a little tree, a couple of little trees across the channel here. But, maybe. Okay, that one's not going to be an issue. That one is. Okay, so I gotta try. Can I get out here? Yep, got the packs over there. And I'm hauling the canoe. Get everything over here. Load her up. Shuttle it over that wet spot, and then unload again and drag everything down the hill to lake number 20. There we go. I'm gonna push it across that little bit of water there and unload everything at the tree. Here's hoping this works out. Okay. There we go. Well, this was much easier than carrying around the edge in the bush like I did the last time. That was ugly. Hard work, lots of sticks in the eyes, lots of trippers in there. I don't mean canoe trippers, I mean foot trippers. Okay, this is as far as we go. Every year this log gets lower. One of these years I'm hoping it'll be flat on the ground and I don't have to crawl over it. On the bottom there, the day is fast heating up. There. Now the work begins. Here's the loads ready to go. And final look back at the bog. And lake number 19, Broken Pelvis. And now onwards. There's the portage. At the end of the more or less flats and heading into the downhill, just realized somehow I've sliced myself on something. I'm bleeding like crazy. I don't even know where it's coming from. No idea. Okay, deal with that when we get to the bottom. These ones here are the worst. So this log is about crotch high on me. God, these are mothers to get over. Oh, because the pack gets stuck. If I lean too far, I'm gonna fall downhill. God damn. Oh, I'm gonna squash my balls here. This is tough. Okay. There we go. Over that one. And we're almost at the bottom. And that lake is full of water. Holy moly. I don't think I've seen that much water in there before. Yep, that's definitely higher than previous years. Here we are. So all done, back in the boat, and ready for the next portage. So I'm unloaded at the end of the Source Lake, and this is a sub-watershed height of land portage into another creek system. I gotta get the boat all rigged up, got my loads waiting to be consolidated and humped for Unfortunately, I've got a couple of uphills at the beginning, not really big, then some boom, boom, downward steps. Third portage of the day, which maybe the final, no, probably not. I'll have one little one after that. Third portage of the day is a major descent. Anyway, have lunch before we do that one. At the bottom end of the second portage of the day, and you can see another pretty lake. This is lake number 21, and part of another creek system. I got my pack load all here. Got to go back up now, get the canoe load, bring that through. Then I'm gonna paddle across the lake. Portage, you can see the notch, the low spot there where the creek exits. Portage is just to the left of the creek opening. I'm gonna have lunch there. These Neos overshoes are a thing of beauty on these trails. I can trash around on all this swampy and when I'm done, take them off. Dry shoes, dry feet, dry pants. Magnificent. Oh, maple flowers, a little bit more developed. Looks like somebody else has been using this trail. Back for the last load. Load up the food pack, the canoe, and away we go. Goodbye Source Lake for another year. Here I am under the canoe, and down at my feet I've got the first emerging trilliums of the year. Hoping they show up there. I've often encountered moose on this lake. But I'll do right now. Well, normally that is one hardy spruce. I don't know if the camera picks that up on the top of this boulder. Tiny little spruce. Holy. You're one tough little tree, bud. Wow. So welcome back up for the canoe load. Pack load's in there, 300 paces. This area right here, I wanted to show you. There's a sort of a clearing of sorts. This one ended up being our home for a couple of nights. First time we came up this trail. A friend of mine and I got this far. Torrential downpour. We set up our tent over here. Went to bed. Next morning we woke up several inches of snow and ice on everything. So we spent that day. It was too dangerous to move. The footing was treacherous. We dug a little fire pit here. Sat under the tarp and burnt wood all day. Next day we packed up, buried the fireplace, and on we went. So if you're ever hard up for a place to stay, just it's about 130 meters from the top end of the trail, and quite serviceable. You could squeeze a couple of tents in here. Canoe loads in at 600. Go back for the pack load. There's another martenset, and there are some truly magnificent trees going up this way. Oh, here's a really unique one. Check this one out. This is a bongo spruce. Look at that thing. So that's a pretty big bongo. Looks like the sun's starting to come back out. That wasn't much of a shower. Touch wood. So I find myself in this little grove of cedars. A couple of big white pines there. Nice forest. One of the original blazes for this trail. You can see blazed here. The back blaze is pretty much grown over. Pretty big cedar tree. Pretty sizable for a spruce tree. Yeah, she's a beauty. Lightning strike on her. Okay, so pack load is back there, a little over 100 paces. Canoe load is through here. So, there we are, back at floatable water, I hope. I usually can float from here out to the lake. Maybe a little beaver dam or two, maybe to slide over, but wow. So this whole meadow, the last time I was here 2 years ago, this whole meadow was flooded. I was able to, just after the grove of pines there, put the canoe in and away we go. That beaver dam clearly has let loose over the last 2 years. I don't know if the wolves got the beavers moved on or what, but anyway, back to slugging through beaver muck. Partway up the trail, there's another sort of a meadow area where this year there's a considerable beaver activity that is has flooded the trail. So it forces me right up against the bush. Not a pleasant proposition at all. So this trail, it changes every time I've been on it. It's a different animal. So all done that portage. That was a bit of a doozy. Took me about 2.5 hours. Not sure just how long it was today. That one varies anywhere between 1200 and 1400. And oh, looks like I'm coming up on another beaver dam. This one's rather inconvenient. Normally I just pull over, but for some reason the water is down in the pond, and so I'm gonna have to unload the boat, or at least partially unload it. And over here. peaceful, nice and calm. I really do like calm. I'm going to give you a walk around of tonight's camp. This is Camp 6, day 12. And tonight's camp is on a little sandy beach. Tent nestled in among a grove of red pines. Hey, my buddy. Big red. This is Temagami. Eagle. I can't see it in that. Oh, look at him go. This right here is Temagami. Morning of day 13, day 13. And pretty much homeward bound now. So today will be my last real travel day. Tomorrow's going to be a day off. I'll clean things up. May do a little bit of day tripping. And get ready for the final homeward push. So Saturday morning, I've only got about 3 hours of travel on Saturday. Hope to be at the takeout around 1 o'clock, and that's about 1, 2 is when my ride should show up. That'll be the end of the trip. Actually, the trip is really over now. I'm down from the high country. Now it's a matter of just working my way to my pickup. And the winds have been doing crazy things, switching back and forth. Yesterday started with a south wind. In the evening, a north wind. This morning, southwest wind. I got a radio forecast today, and it's supposed to be cooler for the next couple of days. So that tells me that to expect another swing to the north sometime today or tomorrow. So, well, we'll see how that all brings. Anyway, we're homeward bound now. So I'm approaching the first conventional portage in over 9 days. Let's try. This is indicative of ancient forest. A little plant called toon leaf. And so goodbye to lake number 25. Cedar there. Now here's a find. Nice big tree. This one here, spruce. big white spruce. Look at the size of this thing. He is ginormous. I'm going to back out. I can look up, way up. Look at that puppy. He's a big boy. This is the real Temagami. Trucking along the Heideland Portage, leaving behind the Great Lakes and entering the Ottawa River. Nice sunny day it turned out to be. Today is day 13. Let's hope that that doesn't have any sinister connotations. I have crossed the watershed. In fact, I just finished chasing a minnow down the portage trail over here. I've never done that before. I've seen frogs on portage trails, but never minnows. And this is definitely homeward bound. Yeah, trip is over. Well, after this next portage. And I stashed a can of beer at the far end of this portage. So once I'm done here, there's a, well, probably not a cold beer, but there's a beer waiting for me. So just about to do the last carry of the trip. I got the canoe load and I stopped apparently just about 150 meters short of the end of the trail. So another 5 minutes or so and I'll be all done the carrying for the trip. Well, I'm all done the last portage of the trip. Wind doesn't seem too bad. Just got to decide where I want to stay. I've got tonight and then I've got tomorrow off too. So I'm going to pick a nice little spot and settle in. Tomorrow I'll clean myself up and try to get rid of a bit of the stink and get ready for my pickup on Saturday. A wee toddy for bedtime. A taste of Elay campfire. Tent nestled among the pines. This is Temagami, sitting in a probably 300-year-old armchair made out of genuine white pine with a view. pretty calm. So you can see everything is still, silent. The perfect end to a solo trip. So this is day 14. I spent 14 days by myself traveling around here. I came through here 13 days ago, and traveled up 1,550 feet plus. Traveled through 29 lakes altogether. By the time I finish, I've got one more to do. That'll be number 29. It has been a fine trip. Discovering that canyon was probably one of the highlights of the trip. It was the highlight of the trip, no question. Just like discovering that Balsam Lake, which, well, formerly known as Balsam Lake, now to be known as Crap Lake, is no more, and essentially makes that whole route unviable. It is a bummer, because that was yet another way to get into those high country lakes. But until some beavers move back to that pond, man oh man, that one's in rough shape. The other entrance into that area, coming in from the east end, east side, would be is also similar situation. There's a lake in there that is beaver dependent, and really can only be done in the early spring. Ah, what a beautiful evening. This afternoon I was traveling across the lake, paddling almost like Zen, and the sense of completeness, peace, acceptance, and just oneness. Was there. Yeah, anyways, I gotta get my supper going. Tonight I'm having chili and a little tot of single malt. So nice. Thanks. Well, good morning. It's day 15. Pickup day. It's freezing cold out this morning. It's not really that cold. It's only it's 4 degrees in the tent when I woke up, but the wind has come up from the north. So I'm waiting right now for the sun to make a little bit of an appearance and give me a little bit of solar warming. Then it'll be a little bit more comfortable to move, because right now it's freezing cold out there. So today's going home day. Actually started thinking about outside things this morning. Got to deal with a roofing contractor. I'm not even going to get into all that shit. Deal with that when I get home. So for the rest of the morning, at least, it's I'm still here. It's been a great trip. Sad to see it end. Spring is really just beginning now. The warblers, it's just the last few days that I've started seeing warblers. They were very late coming back this year. Same thing with flowers. Haven't seen a Canada Mayflower yet. Saw one trillium beginning to open. Haven't seen a full bloom trillium yet either. So a lot of things much later than normal this year. Anyway, I'm just blathering right now. I'm going to shut this down. So it's still pretty damn cold out there. But I got to get moving. So it's going to be freezing cold until I can get off this gravel bar. I'm going to pack everything up and then move out and then find a little spot somewhere out of the wind in the sun to eat breakfast. Wind actually sounds like it's dying. That would be nice. That's what I was hoping, was that this was a first air movement and that it wouldn't be a sustained wind. Barometer's been flat for like 24 hours. I checked that it did rise 1 point in the last hour, so it is beginning to rise. Just hope it doesn't rise too steep, because that means lots of wind. It is down fairly low, so there's lots of room for it to go up. Okay, time to get out of here and get this thing knocked down. Here's my pal, Eastern White Cedar. This is Temagami. Well, I'm up behind the campsite on the river, just downstream from the first lake. And on the way in, I noticed that it seemed kind of clear back here, and I know they've been doing a lot of logging. And sure enough, it's clear cut to within, what would that be? 30-40 meters of the shoreline of the river, and we're into nuclear wasteland. Yeah, holy moly moly. Oh, and this was nice forest. Look at these stumps. So this is what happens right outside the parks. Okay, and they're going to cut this right to the park boundary. They'll cut like this right to the park boundary. Look at this, far over in the far hills. Far as you can see back there. All slashed out. This sort of shit is depressing, especially at the end of a trip, fine trip, and then you see this is what they do. And there you can see the facade along the river. As far as you can see. Look at the size of that moose track. It smells like compost, like manure. That's what it's like. It stinks. Over on this side you got your white birch. Down there you got your spruce. My God, there's some big spruce in there too. Wow, look at the size of some of these spruces. Man, oh man. So this is supremely depressing at the end of a trip of 14, 15 days in the bush, trucking around, hugging trees, and then I come back and I find this kind of devastation just outside the park. This is, oh man, it's depressing. I don't know what that polypy growth stuff is, but this stinks right here. It really smells. And there's like some sort of jelly-like ooze in there. Coming out of that culvert. Right now I'm probably about 10-15 minutes, or probably about 15 minutes from the end of the trip. 15 minutes from the end of a 15-day trip. So I had a very good journey. Highlight of the trip was discovering Okanagan Canyon, the Stogan Canyon, not sure just what to call it, but that canyon back in the high country, that was spectacular. So to summarize the trip here, over those 15 days, 8 of those days were travel days. 7 of them were rest days, rain days, hiking and exploring days. On those 8 travel days, I ended up, the whole trip covered, wasn't a lot of kilometers, 80 kilometers. So that works out to about approximately 10 per day. Moving day. Several of those days I was only able to make like 5 kilometers because of really tough portaging. Over the course of all that travel, I traveled 29 different lakes, or 29 lakes. I went up 1 river and down 3. I worked my way up 4 creeks, down 1. I made 25 portages, totaling 13,040 meters, which means because I was double carrying, I ended up walking 39,000 meters, or almost 40 kilometers on portage trails. Of that, 26,000 meters, over 26,000 meters, 26,120 meters were carrying loads. we're into the swifts here, so we're catching up some speed. So 26 kilometers of carrying 80-pound load. One of my loads was 80, the other one was 90 at the beginning. We'll find out when I get home just how much difference there is. And holy, yeah, pick up the speed, Polly. Here we go. What are we doing here? 10.7. Wow. Let's see what we can get out of this. 11.9. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So we got up to 11.9, 12 kilometers an hour. That's crazy. So, yeah, back to the summary. So, essentially carried 80 pounds, 26 kilometers. Sounds scary when you total it all up like that. But I feel good. Much stronger than I was at the beginning of the trip. It was a good trip. This is Temagami. I just stepped out of the canoe.
Oh, good.
And I could hear the truck coming down the road. Like, timing like that.
Excellent. That's good.
It doesn't get any better.
Between 12 and 1, and it's close to 1.
It's absolutely perfect. This was Temagami.